This is KGW News at 11.
We begin tonight with the latest out of the Tiger Tualatin School District. We told you on Friday the superintendent announced she is leaving come the end of the school year. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Adams. This comes amid controversy over district leadership, violence in classrooms, and threats of shootings. Here's Blair Best with the change parents are now hoping to see.
On Friday, the superintendent of the Tiger Tualatin School District announced her retirement after 6 years on the job. This comes after months of school community members questioning her leadership. The announcement is a relief to parents like Janelle Thompson.
We were excited for some changes to be made.
Thompson has 2 kids in the district. She wants to see better test scores and increase student safety, especially at the middle schools. Her child goes to Hazelbrook.
They're starting to be known as being not as safe. My kids have experienced different things at these schools that haven't been safe. It's definitely not a great environment.
In the past year, there have been threats of bombs and shootings on campus, alleged verbal abuse among students, and a video of Hazelwood students physically fighting that went viral. The district quickly created new policies to address the violence, as parents petitioned to oust the superintendent.
A lot of classroom disruption. They miss a lot of school time from a lot of disruptions in the classroom, a lot of language. There's a lot of physical aggression.
In her letter to the district, Superintendent Dr. Sue Reike-Smith cited student safety as one of her accomplishments. In early January, the school board released this letter, commending her, quote, outstanding leadership, dedication, and positive impact. The board went on to say they value experiences families have when it comes to student safety, and they denounce school violence, but they say the superintendent's reputation is being slandered. The board says they've witnessed, quote, more disrespectful, hate-driven, misogynistic comments and actions directed at the superintendent than anyone could imagine. It's further proof that change is needed in more ways than one.
I would really like to see the district focus on kind of bringing everybody up.
The superintendent's last day will be June 30th, and there will be a work session Monday night where the board will discuss next steps. Parents like Thompson are hoping to be included in the search for a new superintendent. Blair Best, KGW News.
Well, on a statewide level, Oregon students are struggling to close the learning gaps the pandemic created. Harvard and Stanford professors found Oregon students scored worse from 2022 to 2023. Elementary and middle schoolers are 3/4 of a year behind grade level in math and 2/3 of a year behind in reading. Researchers say high absent rates and a difference in how school districts spent federal pandemic funds could be to blame. Schools that use funds to replace class time through programs like tutoring saw higher student scores. Those that use funds to retain staff didn't see the same bounce back in grades.
We handed out, $190 billion to school districts around the country and said, here, you figure it out.
In a statement, the Oregon Department of Education says they want millions in new funding for summer learning programs. That would be on top of the $100 million granted last year for reading development, like tutoring and summer school. Well, turning now to weather, this week's glimpse of spring is over. It's rainy in Portland this evening, and more active days of weather are ahead. Ashley Grahams joins us now. So, Ashley, what do we need to be looking out for first here in the area?
Right, we've already seen rain start tonight. We were sitting in the newsroom and I think all of us turned and looked at the window when we started to really hear some of the intense rain coming down. You can see it right now live over from our Rose City Sky camera over Portland right now. Still about 44 degrees out there. You'll notice our temperature is rapidly dropping. I mean, just yesterday our high was 57 degrees. So that cold front starting to come in tonight. That's going to drive snow levels down, and it's going to make it much colder here in the valley. Now you can see a little bit better here, that rain coming down in Newport. Those of us who are on the coast, well, you've seen some of the most rain today. I think Astoria already has 1 inch of rain. That fell just in the last 24 hours. So yes, this is a live look at Newport, and we can expect this rain really to continue into tomorrow. Now a breakdown for tomorrow as you're heading out the door, starting your day, 43 degrees at about 8 a.m. and you can see see the clouds and the rain just continue all the way through. We'll be lucky if we can make it up to 46 degrees, although that sunset inching just a little bit closer to the 6 o'clock hour. With that rain, we're also going to see some snow for places above 1,000 feet in elevation. You'll notice that big snow really all the way down from the Cascades, from Washington into Oregon, Mount Hood, nearing about 2 feet of snow. We'll talk more about that and some winter weather advisories coming up. John?
All right, Ashley, thank you. It was a deadly weekend on the roads in Marion County. Here's a wrap-up of what took place. The Marion County Sheriff's Office is investigating a crash that sent 2 drivers to the hospital. Just before 8:30 this morning, deputies responded to French Prairie Northeast near Labrin Road, where 2 vehicles had collided. A 22-year-old driver was cited for DUII. Deputies say speed was a factor in that wreck. And on Friday, 1 person was killed in a 3-vehicle crash near 12th Street Southeast and Oak Hill Avenue in Salem. 81-year-old Linda Bush was pronounced dead after being transported to Salem Hospital. Bush was a passenger in one of those vehicles. 7 people in total were involved in that accident, and 4 were eventually taken to the hospital. A chaotic scene in the Buckman neighborhood early this morning results with 1 man dead and another facing manslaughter charges. Portland investigators believe Shane McKeever hit a man on a bike at around 3 a.m. at Southeast Belmont and MLK Boulevard. At some point, someone fired shots at McKeever and he left his vehicle at the scene and tried to run away. Police say bystanders detained him a few blocks away until they arrived on scene. McKeever's been booked on reckless driving and first-degree manslaughter. Officers are still searching for the person who fired the shots. A protest near Portland International Airport causes traffic problems for several hours earlier today. About 60 pro-Palestinian protesters blocked Airport Way west of 82nd Street. Police told travelers to take a different route, but traffic was not significantly impacted. The Clark County Sheriff's Office is searching for suspects they say stole a number of wallets while people were at the gym. They say last Sunday at least 2 people entered Club Pilates in Hazel Dell and stole the wallets. Later that day, 3 people used stolen credit cards. The Sheriff's Office asks for any information on the suspects pictured here. Well, a recent report on the Portland Metro's economy suggests it's time to stop comparing the region to its past and start working on something new, especially when it comes to downtown. The Portland Metro says 3 of the 4 counties in the area have been losing people in the last 2 years after a decade of growth. But it's not just people leaving. A report by real estate firm Collier finds about a third of Portland's offices are empty. They expect that number to rise to about 40% this year as leases that were signed before the pandemic expire and don't get renewed. While city leaders have pushed to get workers back downtown, the Portland Metro Chamber says that strategy is not likely to bear much fruit.
We sort of have hit what is likely our ceiling in office return. So we have to stop making that comparison, because what we were going to achieve through really solid efforts of bringing people back to the core, we have achieved that. Now, because of that new sort of ceiling that we have relative to 19, that means that we're seeing empty buildings and that we are seeing less people here.
Revitalize Portland Coalition, a group of property owners and managers in Portland, says private industry wants to be part of the solution. But our local governments still need to tackle the public safety and homelessness issues, and they need to cut more of the red tape that comes with development. Well, some local animal rescues are upset about a proposal to increase annual fees by hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. The Oregon Department of Agriculture says the increased fees are needed to fund the program that monitors the rescue organizations. But local rescues say the hike could put them out of business.
How is this going to affect all of us rescues? We already fork out a ton of money, for these dogs. Look at them. We fork out tons of money. We vet them, we get them up here, or we pull them from local people here.
Well, there's also a proposed change that worries foster-based rescues, who would give ODA the right to inspect the homes of foster owners. There's a virtual public hearing on all of this next Tuesday at 9 a.m.